Good morning. Um, we are going to be doing today the Rambam and Hilchos Sha'alah Upikodon, and we're going to focus on two halachas, Perek Daled, Halacha Daled, and Halacha Hey. Now we find a very, very unique halacha here, and that is, it says that money and coins of dinarim cannot be guarded only in one way, burying them in the ground. And you got to put, it even tells you exactly how much. You got to put a tefach, about 3 to 4 inches of earth on top, and only then, or into a wall. You put it then a tefach samach l'keira and to the beam on top. Yeah, that to the keira, to the beam, and only then will it be. Now it goes through details. Now, even if you put it into a box, I don't know if a safe will, what the halacha of a safe would be today, or you put it into a hiding place that nobody remembers. Probably the owner himself can't remember. That's not the point. And you're considered a pesheya, you're negligent, and you need to pay if it's stolen, because you would not guard it the way you should. Okay. Seems very, very clear cut. No, terrible. Listen to this, Allah. Somebody gives something to somebody on Erev Shabbos Bein Hashmoshes, which we will talk about what that time is exactly. Then you don't have to worry. You don't have to worry about burying them. Ad Motzoi Shabbos. You don't have to touch it. You don't have to bury it till Motzoi Shabbos. However, if Motzoi Shabbos and it's Achel Motzoi Shabbos they'll cover like Kavram, Nignavu, and then Zachai. If it came to Motzoi Shabbos and you played around, you carried. Now, not done yet. In Talmud Chacham, in a chayiv at sheyashe achas sheyavdol, he has to make Abdullah first. So a regular guy doesn't have to make Abdullah. Talmud Chacham has to make Abdullah. Kedei cover. He has to wait. The way to left Abdullah, that amount of time is given, granted to him. Now we're going to talk about this halacha. This is like a massive insight into halacha. Now, who is a Talmud Chacham? So the Kazman says that the reading of the Rambam would be seen to mean that the Shemer, the Nifkad, I mean the Nifkad is, but others say it's the Mafkid. Now, what does that mean? So the Ravid says it's the Nifkad. He had a gears in the Rambam that seemed to say Talmud Chacham wa Mafkid. He says no, it's a Nifkad. But we don't have that girsa, and in the reading of the Rambam, it would sound like that is the nifka. So there, according to our Rambam, there probably is no machlekes. Okay, where does this come from? A Gemara B'Metzia, Daf Mem Beis. What does it say there? Amashmuk Ksafim Ein Lem Shmira El B'Karka. You cannot guard money only in karka. I think I saw that in a bank today. That's considered karka. Amarava, I guess because the banks are under it. Amarava, Umayde Shmuel. This is a very interesting expression. Shmuel admits Erev Shabbos Ben Hashmoshes lo yatzrichu Rabban. Rabban didn't require him to do that. Now here we're not done. The Ishah l'Motzoi Shabbos shiur l'mikvrinu v'lo kivrinu v'chayiv, which is what the Rambam said. He didn't do it. Not done. Vitzur v'merabbananu is a Talmud Chacham. Sava, so he explains the logic of a Talmud Chacham. Dilma miboya lezuze la'avdalta. Perhaps he needs money for Avdallah. Who needs money for Avdallah? And what does that have to do with hiding? So therefore Rashi says, that shehu choreid al mitzvahs Avdallah ala kois. he is very careful about doing Abdullah on the case, right? On my hashemer, so the shemer said the only violation is Abdalta. Maybe the mafkid is going to need money, right? Lahachi Lekarini, he's going to come here for money because he needs money for a case. So he waited around. How long? We'll find out. So, but that's basically the point. He is a short man. He's assuming that he's money, and it wasn't common to have money enough for what you need. So for something like that, case iron is expensive. So therefore, okay. Now, if you bury it, you have to pick it up and take it out. That we don't require. He has to wait. He can wait a while. How long? I said we'll see. So how does that fit with the Rabbit? The Nifka of the Talmud Chacham, therefore what? What does that have to do with money? The Nifka can't use this money. So what is the right? What if you say the Mafkid or the way the Rambam learns according to the Kesef Mishnah, that's what the Rambam learns. So the Lechem Mishnah says, according to the Ravid, the Nifka is a Talmud Chacham. And he may go to the mafkid to ask him a right to borrow money from him. Very, very, very strange shot. So the Semeh, or the Sma, whatever you want to say says, no, since the Nifka of the Talmud Chacham, and he understands the value of making Havdalah and wine, he assumes that the mafkid is also Talmud Chacham, and he's going to wait one wine. So therefore, we're going to wait for him. Yeah. Now, the Yadavin says, no, nobody's taking this money. The Nifkad was probably going around and looking for money. That's why he didn't do it. And he has another line. And the mafkin, when he gave it to him, understood that that's going to be. There's a Sefer Shoshanas Yankiv on the Rambam. So he says an interesting one. He says, Tamid Chachamim don't rush out of Shabbos. And they add. So, and the Gemara says, doing boilers. He just says Tamid. He's a Talmud Chacham. Therefore, he kept Shabbos long. He could have gotten somebody else to do it. So he brings Sha'alah and Halacha. If you keep Shabbos longer, could you ask somebody else to do it? All right, these are Geshmak and Yonim, but that's not our discussion. What is Bein Hashmashos on Friday? So the Rosh says Bein Hashmashos means Samuch LeErev. Can't be really Bein Hashmashos. We'll see. We'll talk about that soon. The Torah says also Samuch LeChashecha. They're close to dark. It's close to Bein Hashmashos. The Mordechai says Bein Hashmashos means from midday on, because from then on you are busy. And the Bach explains the Mordechai a little differently. That he says the Mechatze yet also lasts Shum Malachim Sheinu L'Seich Shabbos. Okay. Now the Rambam says Bein Hashmashos, but it can't be Bein Hashmashos, because in Bein Hashmashos you don't need the Svarya Torah that's Osir. I'm passing the Hilchos Shabbos. That once Bein Hashmashos comes, you can't do any malach. So obviously, he also means Samach L'Chasheich. And we find there's places where the Rambam uses that lashon. That would seem that that's what it is. Now the Knesset Agdela says clearly, if it were a little before Samach L'Chasheich, you got to bury it. Okay, I'm not sure that that's the. You can say that in the Rambam, but that's his salach. So we now have an understanding of the Ravid. We have an idea what Bein Hashmashos means. Now let's go to what Motzei Shabbos means. That he has a time to bury it. The Rambam said, the Rosh writes, you're not chayiv till the morning. Because Because he can wait all night, he can make Abdullah all night. I know usually he can make Abdullah until Tuesday, but I guess if he wants to make Al-Qais, he would manage to come during the night. Now, the tour writes that Matzah Shabbos, you have to do it right away if you're not a Talmid Chacham. And yeah, it means like the Rambam. What's Pshat ad Oyer Hayom of the Rosh? So the Beis explains, because the guy assumes all night he's looking for ways to get money. Now he's going to come for Zuzal Abdul, for Abdullah. Now, listen to this. The Rambam writes, what that means, it's not that long of a time. He holds that a Talmid Chacham, I'm sorry, but he says to explain the rest that the guy was busy with other things, and then he finally got to Abdullah. The Talmid Chacham doesn't get busy with anything else. So once the Nivdal, the Nifkad, makes Abdullah, he can assume the Mafkad ain't coming. Because if he would have come, he would have come. Now, obviously, you have to take into consideration how far away the Mafkid from the Nifkid lives, and add that to the time, I'm assuming. But so the Beis says the question: who cares if it's a Talmid Chacham? You got to wait anyhow. What's the chiddush? Why are we mechayim the Nifkid if he's not a Talmid Chacham? He like can bring the credit Abdullah. I mean, why? He's supposed to do Abdullah just because he's not. He's a, and the Prisha asks him stronger on that. So he says in the Rosh, and the Rabbiker, okay, that you need a Talmid Chacham. The Prisha says, explains this more in detail, and he says that if the Mafkid is not a Talmid Chacham, well, what kind of what do we do? We have two standards of halacha. As long as it's still Shabbos. And then again, he's like, that's why the Rosh goes that that's all night. And he asks on the Rambam, it doesn't make any sense. Why would the Rambam not take into consideration that a Tzur also has to keep Shabbos? Yeah. So the Bach writes so smart because a guy that doesn't care about mitzvah so much, so he's going to be involved in this thing, so he might as well bury it. But that's still a problem. What do we create a new halachas for somebody who's not Talmid Chacham? What does that mean? Okay, so let's get to the way I believe we can understand this whole sugya and what's going on over here, and Rambam shit in it. First of all, when the Rambam says, Sofim ein shmir el bekarka, even if you put it into a box, even if you hit it where nobody can see it, Sheya, you're up in Sheya, Chayav l'Sha'alah. So now answer the question. So somebody comes over to you right with Erev Shabbos, before Shabbos, gives you money, hold it for me for a week, and you know you can't bury it. Could you just leave it out down the street because you really are not mechuyev for anything? I mean, could you be a real pisheya, or do you have to put it away somewhere? What's the difference which pshia I made? I don't believe there's anybody that said it. Is he not a shamer now until Motzei Shabbos? Is that what it means? Then the thing, what kind of, he's not a shamer, or he can do anything he wants with this money now as far as being not negligent about it? Or is it only this negligence? I believe it's only this negligence, but what's the difference if it's a negligence? Then he writes that if he's a Talmid Chacham, they look cover him. Rambam in Hilchos Shabbos, Perek Halacha, that a person can't eat or drink once the day goes out until he's mavdil. Midrabanan, it should be ala kais. But if he says, I'm mavdil, ben keidish l'cheil, yeah, he's allowed to do malacha. So what's the difference? Let him just say I'm mavdil and go take care of it. What do you need wine for? Because the Talmud Chacham is makbar a wine. So Zainish from of Yanim Chesed. Don't be religious on somebody else's account. Go take care of it. Then go do the wine business. Okay, now we mentioned the Gemara. What's he made to do? He's not being made to anything. He's just saying that there's no shmira if you do have Shabbos. What's this made? I think this is the most telling line in this whole sugya, which really opens up the understanding of this. Another question. The Rambam writes, Shabbos. Why does he have to write that? Just write B'fnei Shabbos, and then he writes right afterwards anyhow. That Mitzvah Shabbos, you got to take care of it. So why did he have to write here on Mitzvah Shabbos? And as we asked, what is the Bach's for? There's two standards of Judaism for an Amoris or a Talmud Chacham. There's a famous Rambam. We know that you're not chayiv for avodim and kakoyis and shtaris, right? And so forth. The Rambam says that for Pshia you are chayiv. Why? Shekola pesheya maziku. So who cares? You're mazik. It doesn't matter if you're mazik karka, you're mazik. It doesn't matter. Or maybe hegdish, but karka you're mechayim. Okay, I'm not going to get into that sugya, but what does that mean? That you're chayim? Well, that's a chiyuv hashem. Is that I'm saying it's not a chiyuv hashem? Because there's rayas, it has to be a chiyuv. Teretz is there are certain chiyuvei shemrim that you or you take on with your shmir. Now, like this, you wouldn't be considered a mazik, but because you became a shemer, that you understood that I'm now undertaking the hezek of shia. Now, the details, when I spoke about it once, I gave a share, and I'm not here to get into that inyan, but I just want to bring out that the inyan of Pshia is a chelik of Hilchos Shemrim, even though the Rambam makes it a Pshia, even that but that you don't be, it's a chelik of Pshia only because you're mekabel the Pshia on yourself. But once you mekabel it, now you're chayav on something. Okay, now. It's clear that the chiyuv to pay for being a mazik is only because I took on the shmir. So therefore, the Rambam makes it comes into a whole new meaning. Haksofim means that when you undertake shmira of ksofim, you are taking on a shmira that needs karka, and if not, you're a pesheya. Comes the Gemara and says, Moide Shmuel, that on Erev Shabbos, you're not taking on that level of Shmir. And therefore, you're not a Pesheya in such a case. Can you put it out on the street because now I'm not a Shemer? Of course you're a Shemer. You undertook Shmira. But you took Shmira without that level of Shmira. Where Ein Lem Shmira B'Karka. Of course, if you put it in a place where nobody knows that it's there is Shmira. But it's not the shmira that generally a shamer undertakes. In this situation, you undertook this shmira and not that shmira, and that's Moide Shmuel. Shmuel agrees that there is a level of shmira, of course, when you not have to do it in the karka. Oh, I say. You're not. That's what the Rambam stresses right away. You're not mechayiv Shabbos. Means your Kabbalah's shmira of normal shmira and not the shmira me'ula of karka was only till Matzah Shabbos. Let's get it. It's all totally my Kabbalah shmira. So very simple. A Talmud Chacham could say I'm Abda, but he doesn't. He doesn't. He's waiting for case. So a Talmud Chacham is not mekabel this shmira mu'ula of karka until after he makes a dollar case. So when they make a deal, that's what they're meaning. Oh, not a Talmud Chacham, not pshat. He's second class and he has no asar along. He is mekabel the shmira right away because he doesn't intend to do the guy. Hilchos should do a guy. That's right. Of course you do a guy, but that's not what he meant. So he was mekabel that shmira already. That's what the Bach means. Kiva Dana Karlam is a Barlan. The Isaac with Sarkar Abdullah came to God because Namish. In other words, this is what he's gonna. He intended that. Okay, so I think the key point here is, and it's so beautiful in the Rambam, that there is no such thing as being stama pesheya. Shmir does not mean you are a natural pesheya. You're a shomer pesheya. Because of your Kabbalah Shmira, you're a pesheya. Oh, but if we know you're not going to bury it now because you don't have time, and you're not going to bury it, you're not going to bury it after Shabbos because you need kais, then you weren't Makabal that Shmira. You're Makabal the regular Shmira. Of course, there's levels of Shmira. Your Kabbalah Shmira doesn't make you, if you're not Makabal that type of Shmira, then you can't be a pesheya because there's no such thing as being a pesheya without Kabbalah Shmira. You have to be Makabal that type of Shmira. And this is clear. You're not Makabal. Amoritz is Makabal. And that way, it would be very good. Okay. Zeit gesund.